I think the story's pretty much run its course, at least at this point in time. Eliza's gone dark on it. Tim, I don't think he's addressing it at all whatsoever. It's like you don't expect him to anyways. He'll just, shuffle off to the next thing. That's fine and wonderful. The quarterings just capitulating to any of his mutual audience that he had with Tim, and also being King Simp for Sydney at this point in time. Lord have mercy. At least you guys, at least the quartering did some good work during the time of Eliza Bleu, but she's gone absolutely dark on this situation, and well, we can kind of figure out when she's going to be coming out of retirement here, and we'll touch on that here in a second. But yeah, as for this story right here, it just ended up ballooning completely, totally out of control. Remember what this was all about. It had nothing to do with Timcast going on that show that just exposed her, and then Tim made it all about himself horribly, completely on accident, and freaked out, said he was retiring, but then just moving to another channel and keeping his show exactly the same way that it was, and running the same old gimmick. You have no idea how hard I work and how difficult this is, and I work so hard, and we could just have so many things, and then I could just go live in a van down by the river, and I'd never have to deal with any of this stuff again. And I just want to talk about the news. I just want to talk about things that are important. I don't talk about myself every single video, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing's gonna change off the back of this. At least for Tim, the quartering, all of these well-established channels. You would have thought that there would have been a point for inflection, but hey man, at least the audience has kind of figured out that, wow, these guys are not exactly the most principled individuals. And that's the best thing to have come out of this situation, because there's some of us that haven't really lost sight about where all of this stuff started. Eliza Bleu getting people banned on Twitter. And that's kind of what we can focus on right now, because yeah, that puff piece that Tim ran, that was a hell of a good story. That was a lot of fun to cover, but they aren't going to be doing anything like that anymore. And hopefully Shane Cashman goes back to the journalism school and he figures out how to actually, write a story. But this was always about calling out censorship and trying to do something actionable about that. Tim wants to talk about things that really matter, like rubbing shoulders with much more famous people, networking, and continuing to peddle his version of fear porn every single day. Keep you on the cycle, keep you on the hamster wheel. Just put that little pellet of value just out of reach. But don't worry, if you spin the wheel fast enough, you'll eventually get there, sport. I believe in you. But yeah, of all the people who have done good stuff that's out there, I think like Grifty, I think I probably used it. I know the avatar and the name looks familiar. But yeah, Chrissy Mayer, that umbrella guy, Defango, Aiden Kearney, Turtle Boy. They've done some incredibly good stuff. I've been critical, very critical of Fair and Balanced, who's also kind of a copyright cock of herself, striking down any criticism and her just doing, shady stuff on other people's YouTube channels. I need you to pull that down because I'm trying to be a theory at the journalist, and any day now, I'm going to get a network job in DC. Sure you are, sweetheart. Didn't you know I used to be a cheerleader for the Chicago Bulls? Nobody cares. Stay over there. Best of luck. Hopefully your documentary on this stuff is going to be fantastic. Mixed reports so far, but remember what this has been about the entire time over the past, God, it's going on a month now at this point in time. Brittany Venti was one of the first people to be struck by this. She was the one who asked the question, hey, you seem to be telling a tale about you being a survivor of human trafficking, but yet during that time frame that you laid out, we got pictures of you shaking ass on the internet. How do those things work together? Oh, it works like this. Get them, ban her, Elon, ban her. And yeah, she's still banned. I'm sure that there are still other accounts out there as well that are still banned. There's still privacy strikes all over YouTube right now. None of the problems, none of the reason that anybody knows the name Eliza Bleu on such a level as this, in this context, still hasn't been addressed. Anybody who's been freed from Eliza's wrath, they had to capitulate. They had to bend the knee in order to get their accounts back. So that's why this is so interesting. And we talked about this yesterday as well. Yesterday or the day before. Regardless, we know when Eliza's going to pop up next. She's going to be at that Minds Fest in Austin that's being put on by the Post-Millennial, and really seems to have very strong Timcast connections, because you got all of those guys showing up there. Luke Rudkowski, Ian Crossland, who I don't know what his opinion on all of Eliza Bleu is, but he's a little partial to her feet. Tim will be down there. Oh, he was advertising it all over his website as well. Oh, you can come down and you can see us down there at the Minds Fest. And Ian Crossland, also, one of the co-founders of Minds as well. And as somebody thankfully pointed this out as well, Based Records is also owned and operated by the same guy who's running Post Millennial as well. So it's like, this is a big incestuous powwow. Hence why the most incendiary label that they'll afford Eliza is controversial activist. She hasn't advocated for anything. She's taken credit for other people's work, and she's managed to monkey branch her way to just a higher profile. But yeah, she's supposed to sit on a debate for content moderation alongside, what was the lineup? I think it was Luke, Ian, and Destiny. That's a woman's name. They could talk about sexual proclivities too. We know, unfortunately, a little bit too much about Eliza, and well, they could probably swap girl stories with Destiny up there on the stage, because if you know anything about him and his history, that's they're gonna be a little tough. There's something else that's in the works as well, which is also very, very interesting, and I give it like a 0% chance of actually happening. Apparently, Brittany Venti went live yesterday to discuss that Minds had reached out to her to maybe be setting up a debate with Eliza on stage. That would be interesting, and the fact that it needs to take until April in order to find any resolution for this, at least, some sort of catharsis. Don't know if, Twitter will end up clearing anything up by that time. You would really hope so. But outside of exercising a vendetta, what exactly is going to be solved here? Well, if you know anything about the type of content that Brittany Venti likes to cover, to be completely honest, I've never watched more than a couple of clips. I've seen a couple of live streams that she's been on from shows that I do like, so not a fan, not a supporter. I think that she has some borked takes on certain things, but is she an overall good for, I won't even say causes, but in this situation, yeah, she was unjustly banned and is still unjustly banned to this very day. But some other hot button topics that they could be talking about is some recently uncovered writings that Eliza has done. We know that she was an aspiring reality show personality, an aspiring advocate, and more prominently, a video vixen. Oh my god. So she wrote this piece for Chicago Now back in 2012 about how to become a video vixen. Well, that's funny, because the whole video vixen career for her, touch and go all the way up until the big break for World Star Hip Hop in 2016. So how do you become a video vixen? Well, maybe she's just trying to put it out into the ether. Obviously, it got a little bit of traction because it was posted, at least at some point in time, on Facebook. It amassed a few thousand likes, but this was under her old moniker. That's why it took a minute for it to be uncovered, right? So knowing Brittany's hardline stance when it comes to any sort of sexualized content, I'm sure that they could have a wonderful discussion on this. It's what an interesting read, and the way that she talks about the business, that's gives you a pause to really think, once again, how much trafficking was actually going on, and if you reversed some of the genders, you'd be perhaps coming to some different conclusions about certain things. Anyways, hello. My name is Eliza Siep. Hi, Eliza Siep. Also knows Morthland, your actual last name, and then eventually would become, she would have been Cuts already, and then eventually the Eliza Bleu as of right now. I'm sitting here listening to The Weeknd. That's fantastic. Back in 2012, I don't know what Weeknd stuff was back in 2012. Hell, I don't even know Weeknd song. I know the guy because he has synthwave influences, and that's like me some synthwave. Anyways, in deep contemplation, oh my lord, as to how I'm going to break it to my mother that I want to be a video vixen, chances are that you're going to record it. Seriously, how do you tell your mother that you want to be an urban model, a hip-hop honey, or eye candy professionally, and being as white as the driven snow? Well, first you need to develop some sort of hack black scent, put it on, and then just repeat that you're really blessed right now. I guess I should call her up and rip it off like a band-aid. Yo. Oh, you're talking about, speaking with your mom. I thought how you got into the industry. Anyways, if you haven't already, you should check out the About page that lives on this blog. It might give you a little bit better of an idea of where I'm coming from. The truth is about, that for the past month I have taken on becoming my own modeling agent. No, you're supposed to be trafficked by some people in the industry. Interesting. So you're your own agent. Great. Fantastic. That within itself is not all that unusual. It's the type of model that I am trying to become that actually makes a story rather juicy. I'm breaking one of the smallest and hardest parts of modeling that pays no mind to the idea. The stereotypical model ideal. Stereotypical should be one word. Oddly enough, I have actually had a great response thus far, and I've been able to tick a few things off my bucket list as a result. That was a new movie back then. That was great and all, but now I want bigger and better and blacker. Oh, I'm sorry. But not just for me. But for the video vixens as a whole. Oh, she was even trying to advocate for 304s back in the cut. How adorable. She's such a good person, guys. Won't you see how good of a person she is that you'll just forget that she's a thin-skinned censorship queen? Adorable. She was trying to be a pseudo-black queen back in 2012, and now in 2023, oh, she's the queen of Twitter with all the connections, right? The best part of what I can do with class and dignity, bro. We've seen you walking through construction sites and booty shorts. Like, there's no dignity in class there. I know what the world as a whole probably thinks of when they think video vixens, proto Instagram models. Alright, Instagram wasn't around in 2012. She's so old. I purposely did not Google. Oh, Google can be lowercase. That's wonderful. The word, while writing this blog, because I didn't care, the world said, what the world says about it. I am here to tell you how I see business of being a video vixen and why I want to be one. I have always wanted to be famous. That reads exactly the same. How adorable. What is a video vixen to me? See, it's all about me and redefining terms like how many times you can be a victim. I'm updating my victim story. I still can't believe that she wrote that. A beautiful model or an actress that can dance. No, it's legit. Just girls in the background of marginally more talented individuals in the foreground. Like, come on. Is probably not formally trained, but has been hired as a musical artist to appear in the music video. They have hired to help to sell an image or a brand of a client. In my eyes, being in a music video should simulate the dream or a vision of every hip-hop, rap, and R&B artist. Sorry. They rent cars, jewelry, homes, and clothes for the day or days of the shoot, along with the beautiful ladies. The artist does all of that work to portray an image and sell themselves as a brand. Unless the guys that are actually about that life, but she'd never get to that level within the industry. Music videos are not always a Hollywood set. If a video vixen does her job correctly, she will make the artist look amazing just by simply helping to sell a product as a typical model would help a designer sell their clothes by wearing them. Starting to see something interesting from this. Being in videos like the typical model is anything but easy. Of course it is. Coming across like those articles that say sex work is real work. Is it though? Picture 14-hour days of shooting, doing the same thing over and over again. Are you that bad? Anyways, shooting is literally exhausting. It's literally exhausting, guys. Oh, and did I forget to tell you, I have to stay severely good looking the entire time. Sounds fun, right? Ha. I learned the ropes from the other side of the camera doing hair, makeup, and wardrobe for videos and photo shoots for many years now. You would think that coming into the modeling industry with my head full of knowledge would detour me. That's strange. It hasn't in the slightest. In my next blob, why hip-hop, why me? It's been scrubbed and there's no links to it, which kind of sucks. We'll delve into why I wanted to become a video vixen. It's easy work. That's why it is. Why do you think so many fitness influencers on Instagram just show up and put on skin-tight yoga pants or yoga shorts and then just videotape themselves doing squats or do other shady stuff on the internet, which is also kind of funny a little bit. Okay, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Eliza Siep. It's funny because she also claimed a lot of the original evidence was from the Michael Malice interview that she had from 2020, I think 2020 or 2021, regardless. One of those foundational interviews. She said prior to hopping on Twitter in 2019, she'd never been on the platform before. There's she had that as well. And then also on Instagram, like, we exposed the one website that's out there as well. She's a perpetual liar. She's a perpetual clout chaser as well. What is the least amount of effort that I have to do in order to maximize my gifts. I don't know what a video vixen is, and I'm not going to Google it or anything like that. I'm just simply going to entitle my entire series Life of a Video Vixen. If somebody would actually have the audacity and have the ability to have a one-on-one conversation with her, just to see how far this narcissism goes, how far these lies dig, that would be a very interesting conversation to have. Don't know if it's going to happen here. Chances are it's probably not going to. And the next time that we hear from Eliza, it'll be after a whole bunch of harassment and death threats. I just realized that I've been victimized for a 4th time, and I'm going to have to withdraw from Mindsfest to continue to do my good work online. You're supposed to be an advocate for something, and you haven't even done anything in the past a week online. I'm sure that she's probably busy offline, though, probably helping to rehab some of her clients that have had their stories unravel, their accusations against the Tate brothers getting put on blast, and figuring out the prosecution knew about this at all times, but you were out there just trying to shake Tate's down for a quick few million. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably running some cover for them at this point in time. Maybe that's what this was ultimately all about. You knew that all of that stuff was just hot garbage and nonsense, that you just needed to kick up a stink. Lord only knew why you muddied the reputation of so many other giant platforms in the process. Soft hands and an accommodating mouth will get you far in this business, I suppose, but she's probably got an article written on that. So without anything else, I'd imagine this probably puts a tiny bow on top of this. And until everybody gets unbanned on this, yo, why does she have to do this? I legitimately thought that we could send this off nicely. And yeah, since February 10th, she hadn't tweeted a damn thing. But here I am, recording a couple additional videos. I just go and peek and see if there's anything that I'm missing. And here she goes, trying to start a fight with a guy who kicked all of this stuff off to begin with. You can't make this stuff up, Defango. I accept your apology, Eliza. Even though he was called... This is more doxing than anything that happened during the entire dust up. Because right in the goofy little addendum right there that published his name, Manuel Chavez, okay, made no mention to Defango at all whatsoever in there, but then she just rightly names him right there and then just clips a section. Which one did she click out, right? Or clip out, sorry. So this is apparently the words of Defango. I don't understand why they do half of these things. That's why with the Eliza thing, I definitely didn't want to end up like this. I would much rather, have been able to talk to her. If I were able to give her a message today, obviously I would say, look, I'm definitely sorry this kind of rolled out the way that it did. I take responsibility for what I've done and what I've said, and if I've been wrong, I apologize. Unlike all these other people on the internet that are just making videos after videos after video, collecting cash, or hopping on a podcast, collecting super chat after super chat, and then berating the audience. Anyways, there has never been any intention to have her harassed into oblivion, right? That's not what I wanted. I just wanted some simple answers. This kind of thing spiraled out of control in the first way that I cannot control, and it's not the first time something like this has happened around me. But I am saying that I'm hoping that it will be the last. Yeah, you would certainly hope so, and I wonder what the response of this has been so far, because I can imagine it's probably been super great. So this happened about an hour ago, and yeah, it's already ratioed, and I've seen this, and I also seen that Defango and many other people have responded. Yo, you got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers tweeting out a Dumb and Dumber quote, like, which one's this? Man, yeah, you're one pathetic loser. There's a poll that I voted for. Okay, which of the multiple personalities is your favorite? Eliza Bleu. Oh, came in third. Your fourth or fifth iteration. Just not quite as popular. Siep, yeah, nobody likes you when you were married, okay? Morthland, the original, yeah, man, just not quite as good as Eliza knows, because nobody else could quite, and we're changing in real time. Nobody else could quite fill out those one pieces. Of course not. Remember when he said parents and communities could vote to pimp out children? Oh, yeah, but at 12 years old, they're totally capable of making their own informed decisions, yo. Oh, shout out Aiden Kearney, Turtle Boy, one more time, tweeting out a link to Ludacris, use a hoe, fucking oof. But then he got the big homie himself, Dear Eliza Bleu, this is not an apology. If I have been wrong, yeah, we kind of peaked that when we seen from the excerpt itself, but she's an expert when it comes to gaslighting. I had illicit images and I'm a 3-time survivor of being trafficked. So we know that she knows how to spin a certain screed, if you will. I haven't seen anything from Shane Cashman to suggest that you have any evidence that changed my mind or the majority of people looking at the matter. Please don't get it twisted. She's already gotten it twisted, though. God damn, man. I thought that we'd be done with this stuff, but, oh, man. I'm going to stop putting, any sort of forecast on this stuff. This story is just so damn wild. So now this time I mean it, and I'm done recording. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.